afternoon, everybody. My name is Rutendo, and I'm a communications and business student at SFU. And so I'd like to thank the TEDx team that put this talk together for giving me the opportunity to grace the stage. I made a promise, as you heard, and so this is me living up to it. Normally TED Talks are done by professionals, who spend a lot of time in their industries and working and dedicating their life's work to whatever they decide in life, right? And so I thought today I'd come out and speak to you, not as a professional, but as a student, as someone who could be sitting in the crowd next to you. I'm just going to share my story the way any of your friends would. I spent the better part of last year, about 8 months or so, working as an editorial assistant for a mining news company called mining.com. And in this experience, I really got to evaluate the world of work. I'm in my 3rd year, so obviously it's groundbreaking for me to just be able to see what the next 20 or 30 years could look like. For some of you, you've been doing this a while, so it feels really easy. You're told to go to school and graduate. This is the Langara class of 2017. Your website was helpful. And yeah, so we told go hard, push at school, graduate, and then go into work and look like Harvey Specter. We can talk about suits later. Yeah, and after that you have a family, you settle down at some point, you have family, and then retire with a gold watch and a yacht, And so, yeah, being an editorial assistant taught me a lot, not just about the good practices of journalism, really, but also about life in general. And I can honestly say I've developed a deepened respect for all the people who put in 9 to 5 every single day, and all the people who commute to work, For example, this picture was taken at at Commercial Broadway Station in December during the snow. And you can see how many people are there. I mean, this is the length we go to be able to provide for our families and put food on the table. So yeah, this COVID phase was so significant for me because I come from a country where high unemployment is the norm, right? And so it's not uncommon for someone my age who's in school to be fully dependent on their parents until they're done with the education system. I thought, okay, what can I learn from this experience? And basically, this is what I took out of it, that people sacrifice so much for just to be able to fend for their families. And just to move on, so I could have come here today to speak about democracy in the world of, I could have come to talk about media and democracy in the world of social media, or I could have come to talk about AI and machine learning, but obviously somebody already covered that, thank God. So yeah, I thought I'd address college students like myself in the crowd today. You spend so much time preparing to come to university, you take all the right extracurriculars. I, for instance, had to do tennis, hockey, basketball, swimming, orchestra, you name it, just to have a perfect resume to come to college. Then all of a sudden, I got to university, and all the people who were telling me what to do to eventually be successful in my life had gone, and they just sort of left me to fend for myself, So I thought university is a lot like a liminal space. This is a corridor. Corridors take you from one door to the next. And I feel like that's what university is. It's just a phase in life where you pass through in order to make it to the next big thing that's coming your way, right? So, and it applies to everyone, not just university students. Whatever your season is right now, for some of you it may be more set in stone, but for others it's liminal like this. And so I just thought, well, okay, how do you navigate this space? How can I help another student like myself to be able to navigate university and navigate into the world of work how can I instruct someone else on how best to maneuver the space, right? And so I came up with these four concepts that I think will be able to help anybody else my age to get to the next phase of their life. Number one is to keep on learning. As you draw to the close of education and you get to the end of school, how much you learn is really up to you. And people tell you that learning really begins after school's done. I found that to be true during my co-op, because there's no one holding a gun to your head for you to, increase the amount of knowledge that you have. How much you don't know is up to you. And so I really encourage everyone to pick up a book or two, just to increase your skill set and pick the brains of scholars and people who are more educated than you. And I also thought, well, okay, what else could other people do who are my age to navigate university and work? Give your best in everything. How about that? Just starting there. Excellence, doing everything with excellence is something we take for granted. But ultimately, when you look back, how many people have you seen who are talented? They reach great places in their lives, but their character can't sustain them there. So I highly encourage doing everything and giving it your best shot. And you know how life isn't perfect? Yeah, sometimes it doesn't work out the way we plan. And that's when we have to deal with things like failure. What do you do then when you've given life your best shot and still things don't fall into place? My dad, the person who made me do this, or at least who inspired me to do it, he said, this would be a good line to throw in there, Rutendo. Winners aren't those who don't fail, winners are those who never quit. And so I really encourage you to keep going and to keep pushing and to keep rising up whenever life gets you down, And just to tie it all together, I really encourage you all to embrace the season you're in right now. See, the thing about seasons is they come and go, and I know for myself, I got to university and I was so excited, but by the time second year starts to come around, and ends, you're like, assignments, group projects, people, you're done with all of it, right? You just want out. You don't want to give, you're tired, you just want to be on to the next thing, As you start to see more of your friends graduate, it's painful to watch because you're like, hey, it's time, I need to get out of here. But honestly, at the end of the day, you're running your own race. It's an individual thing. You're not in a race against anyone to graduate, to reach the C-suite, to get married, to find love, to settle down, to have a family. We put so much pressure, there's so much external pressure, but ultimately it's up to you. So I really encourage you that, whatever it is as a student or in life or wherever you're at in your personal journey, give everything your best shot. If you're going to cure AIDS, by all means. If you're going to, send women to the moon, do that. If you're going to build skyscrapers, write your books, whatever it is you decide to do, I really encourage you to do it, and do it all to the best of your ability. At least, if no one ever gives you credit for what you do, you really can look back and say, you know what, given the circumstances I faced, all the opportunities that came my way, I lived my life, and I did my best. I did the best that I could do in the season. So thank you very much for listening, and have a good day. Cheers.